Hello, and you just finished completing the practice quiz for Unit 13. And I wanted to make a quick video for you to be able to go through and check your answers. Um, the first section, Learning Target 13.1, asks you to be able to identify if a solute and a solvent are present and which one is which, and explain how you know. So in the first problem, we're talking about a sample of bronze that is 90 grams of copper and 10 grams of tin, and you're trying to identify which one is the solute and which one is the solvent. And since we haven't talked about that for a while, we should probably review for a second. So the solute is the thing that gets dissolved. That we'll say substance. That's a little bit nicer scientific way to say it. The substance that gets dissolved. And the solvent is the substance that does the dissolving. So in this particular instance, we're looking at what appears to be two solids. And so what ends up happening is that the best way to describe what's happening here is that the solute, in this case, is going to be tin, and the solvent is going to be copper. Now, the next part is you have to explain how you know. And in this case, there's a couple of things that we might be looking for. We might say that copper is present in a larger amount. And that's probably the most obvious in this case. And another thing that we could probably say is that tin will be dissolved by copper, be surrounded by copper. Wow, spelling is really hard. Nope, surrounded. Geez. So when you're answering this question, you have to first of all identify which one is solute and which one is solvent, and then you also have to give some type of explanation as to how you knew that. In the next example, it says instant ice cold packs are made up of solid ammonium nitrate and water are kept in separate compartments. When the seal is broken, the ammonium nitrate mixes with the water. So which is the solute and which is the solvent? So in this problem, the solute is going to be the NH4NO3, the ammonium nitrate, and the solvent will be the water. And our reasoning or explanation for that would be that the NH4NO3 is in smaller amount. Actually, it doesn't even tell us that, which is something that we might want to make an assumption about, but that's something we don't know for a fact. So based on what it says is that it's mixing with water, we could say that the NH4NO3 will be surrounded by water. And we could also say that the NH4NO3 will break down when it gets surrounded. Something to think about there is that NH4NO3 is an ionic compound, so it will separate into its NH4 ammonium and NO3 nitrate ions and be surrounded by water. So if we were to draw a real quick sketch of that, we might say that like if NH4 was a triangle and I don't know, say NO3 was a circle, we might have something like some NH4, we might have some NO3, something like that, and then we'll have them surrounded by the water and they're separated. And so that's another way that you can discern or identify whether or not something has been dissolved. So that's your first learning target for this particular section. The next one we're going to talk about is you can determine if a substance will dissolve and explain why or not. So in this case, we have propanol and we have water. Propanol, pentane is a, it's propanol, not pentane. Oops. Is a polar molecule. It's a polar molecule which has hydrogen bonding and dipole-dipole interactions, and it also has London dispersion forces. So your polar bonding is occurring right here. I'm sorry, your hydrogen bonding is right there, and your dipole-dipole is right there. So those are the two of the three intermolecular forces of attraction that are present. Water also has hydrogen bonding and it has London dispersion forces. So the answer of the question is, will propanol dissolve in water? And the answer is yes. Propanol will dissolve in water. And our reasoning is going to be kind of important. One of the things that we're going to say as part of the reasoning is that they have they have the same polarity. And that's important because they're both polar. And then we can also say that the molecules have similar intermolecular forces of attraction. Intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay, so that's the first page of the practice quiz, and I'm going to stop my video right here, and I'll pick up on the next page with a different video. So these are a little bit shorter, hopefully, for you to digest. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, good luck preparing for your quiz tomorrow.